and open the floors to the questions. Do we have any questions online, Vicky? No. Questions from the audience?
Good morning, Federico Tosi, Ina from. I have a question for Alessandro. Alessandro, we have been using extensively some lunar regolith simulants for our project too, including the exolith ones. And we found out that the real composition of those simulants that we acquired 2 years ago was slightly different compared to what it was declared in the safety sheet. So be careful, because if you take the safety sheet and the mineralogical composition, the abundance of pyroxene, basaltic glass, plagioclase olivine, and ilmenite too, it turns out to be a function of the grain size first, and then it's different from what is declared. So don't take it for granted. And by the way, we also bought simulants from other suppliers. That there is not only one, there are at least 3 or 4. So it's also good to compare for oceans work, different suppliers.
Hi, Ben Greenhagen, APL. Also have a question for Alessandro. So I'm really curious about this difference in emissivity or reflectance you're seeing before and after the heating. Are you using the same sample preparation between the reflectance and emissivity measurements? And can you offer some speculation on what might be going on?
Okay, yeah, what we used to the samples are prepared exactly the same, and what we try to do is to, since we can, when we measure the hemispherical reflectance, okay, we prepare hemispherical reflectance samples. They are just a little bit smaller than the emissivity. Then we prepare an emissivity cap. We measure it, so we heat up and we measure it in vacuum, and then that cap is gonna be put back in the hemispherical reflectance chamber. That means we do not scoop out, we do not change the stratigraphy. So it's exactly what has been measured in emissivity. So the emitting layer is exactly what then is going to be the reflecting layer in the hemispherical apparatus. And so we just are sure that we see the same surface and that we can do almost one-to-one comparison. Of course, you saw it in the spectra, and this is not new. 1 minus hemispherical not equals emissivity. We see some differences, and there is always, let's say, a very careful approach with this. We should try as much as possible to compare thermal emission spectra with emissivity measurements, and this is what we do. So hemispherical is for our mostly, let's say, a check that we do. Of course, it's good to have those measurements, but they very usually help us to calibrate emissivity in the best way. But it's not like we just analyze the Mertis measurements using hemispherical. So we're gonna stay with emissivity.